So I'm sure we're all quite familiar with what calamari is, especially the deep fried kind that you get at restaurants. We've grown accustomed to them and we're pretty used to eating them. But do you know what I find that is less common to get in restaurants? And that's straight up octopus. Even in grocery stores, like you don't really find them that common unless you go to specific ones, being South Africa now. So when you do find it and you want to try it out, it usually ends up super tough and chewy, very unpleasant, and you wonder to yourself, like, why do people like this? Like, I'll just stick to calamari then. Turns out, there's actually a very important first step that you need to take before actually cooking the octopus in whatever sauce you'd like, or whatever method you'd like. And today I'll show you guys how exactly that first step goes, and how to make 2 delicious dishes with it.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down.
So the first important step in making octopus is actually cooking it in a slow and steady method. Either putting it in the grill on low heat or on a stovetop with a gentle simmer for a few hours. This is super important in order to make it tender. I mean, who doesn't like tender things? Okay, maybe not if you beat your meat too much and it becomes too tender. Then that's a bit rough, it kind of hurts then. But, because then you'll be eating mush basically. What are you thinking? So today we'll be using the slow simmer method. We'll be putting in 1 pot water to 1 pot fish stock just to infuse some flavor into the octopus. Now bring up the water up to a gentle simmer. They will be dunking in the octopus a few times to create those gentle curls. Yeah, dunk it in like how you tip your toes in the ocean and then you just feel that fucking cold water and your toes curl up. Yeah, that's the octopus. It's curling up like that. Cool, so after you've dunked it a few times and you got the curls ready, you can put in the octopus and submerge it with water. It'll be quite stubborn, it'll try to stick out, but you can just push it down with the ladle and then after that, let it cook for roughly an hour or to hour and a half. So roughly after an hour and a half has passed, you can come through and take a paring knife and just try to poke it through. If it goes right through without much resistance, that means it's ready. Don't poke too hard now, you don't want to get excited. We're still in the early process of this. Take it up and strain it, make sure all the water has drained off and let it cool down completely before you start slicing. So here I'll be just quickly separating all of the egg tentacles. If you want to keep the skin on, I do recommend to be quite careful, since if you do aggravate it too much, the skin will peel right off, as you can see here. I mean, with all skin, it's kind of just all aesthetics, isn't it? So who gives a damn? Now that I'm done separating all 8 tentacles, I'm gonna put them in a Ziploc bag and let them chill in the fridge for a few hours. You can store it in your fridge up to 3 days or up to a few weeks in the freezer. Also, don't forget the top part of the octopus, which is basically the head sack. I cut it up into little rings, so it kind of reminds you of calamari. Tastes slightly different from calamari, but you can barely tell, to be honest. And it's really good. Moving on to the sauce for our grilled octopus. I'll be using a tablespoon of gochujang, a splash of soy sauce, a drip of oyster sauce, and then I'll be dripping in some extra bits of artificial sweetener, but feel free to use sugar if you prefer that, and then I'll sprinkle some garlic flakes on top of it. Finishing off the sauce, we'll be adding in pepper. Add in a generous amount to give that nice flavor. For the octopus, give it a rub with some sesame oil. Just pretend you're watching some hentai and it all comes naturally when you stroke it. Yikes. And you don't have to do that for too long because soon after we'll be putting that straight onto the grill. So straight after putting on the grill, you can start basting because this will be a super quick process, roughly 2 to 3 minutes on each side, and your octopus would be ready. There's a lot of sauce from this, so you can baste it with multiple layers to just get that enhanced flavor. It's kind of funny because the octopus looks like now they have some fake tan on. But like with Donald Trump's fake tan, don't be shy on adding on more layers. Give it a flip and do the same for the other side. And oh my word guys, the smell from this is amazing. It just makes it all the more exciting. I am doing this on the gas grill though, so you won't get that smoky flavor, and that's why I'm adding that smoked paprika right here to try to get that flavor in there. And oh my word, the smoked paprika is so worth it. And once you see that lovely char on the octopus, then you know it's ready. Take it off and get ready to eat, because there it is. Super damn tasty octopus. God damn! Next up for our sherry infused octopus, we'll be adding a bit of olive oil, and then we'll be adding in garlic straight after that. Let it brown for a little bit for a few seconds, and then we'll be adding in a can of tomatoes. Then use a masher to get that nice and mushy in order to cook down faster. If you do prefer to go low and slow, you are also allowed to do that, but I felt like doing this is just a little bit quicker. After you mash it up, add in a tablespoon of tomato paste. It will give that tomato base such deep flavor, almost like you've been cooking it for hours, but that's the thing. You haven't. Always looking for shortcuts, you lazy bastard. After that, we'll be adding a few glugs of sherry. My goodness, guys, sherry is amazing. It is almost the perfect replacement for rice wine if you don't like rice wine in the first place. It just has that deeper, richer flavor and sweeter, in my opinion. Don't forget to season as well. Salt and pepper. Real simple. Then chuck in a little bit of parsley to just give that extra flavor. I swear all dried up herbs looks kind of the same, but it's sadly not the other type. We're going to add in some lime after that. We'll be choosing lime over lemons specifically because we don't want that heavy acidity, just that citrusy flavor. Oh, and finally the exciting part, add in your octopus and give it a good stir. It should cook for pretty quickly, roughly 3 to 4 minutes, just to basically heat up the octopus and give it a little bit of flavor from the braise. Now I know the next part is going to be a bit of what the fuck, but trust me, a teaspoon of Sichuan chili oil goes a long damn way and will round out everything together and just make it taste so flipper good. And there you have it, guys, all done. Sherry and Sichuan flavored octopus.
First up we have the sherry infused braised octopus. Wow.
Bruh.
The sweetness from the sherry really carries it. Like, it gives us that really rustic, fruity flavor that you just don't expect when you look at this. You expect the tomato to really hit hard and be really sour, but the sweetness of the sherry just kind of overcomes that, and the Sichuan peppercorns actually also just give that's not too spicy, just a little bit of heat to round everything off. Oh, but the even better dish in my opinion is the Korean style grilled octopus. Here you go. Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. The smoked paprika just adds that extra layer of flavor that really brings it all together. Wow. As for the heat, not too spicy at all actually, although it looked like a lot of gochujang. The sweetness from the sugar / artificial sweetener really balances that out. As for the soy sauce and oyster sauce, they just add that extra depth of flavor and umami that with every bite it just blows your mind. Oh my goodness. This is probably the best calamari dish I've ever had in my life. Yo. Alright, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.